One day, a little girl met a fascinating storyteller and found an exciting adventure in store.
That's the ship that brought the little convict, young Toby Nelson, out from England to Australia.
Toby was desperate for a friend, so once on shore...
I think he's trying to run away. Stop him!
And that's how Toby met the koala.
What's that you got there?
Baby koala.
A delightful and lively animated musical, Toby and the Koala Bear. Follow their friendship. Friday.
Is there intelligent life in space? Last week we discovered that we are not alone. With this film, the door to the universe opens for every Martian. First films of our successful Earth shot from the cameras on our orbiting spaceship. Despite the poisonous oxygen-laden atmosphere, signs of a civilization. And then the big news. There is life on Earth. Although no landing was attempted on this trip, it's obvious we've got a lot to learn from the Earthling. Now, first close-up shots of that Earthling. Here we see him at dinner, a carefully regulated meal, after which he takes shelter for the night. He needs his rest. As you will see, it's going to be a busy day. For most Earthlings, it appears to be all play and no work. Anything that stands in the way of the smooth, fast life is not tolerated for long. Loud honking and squawking brings a worker on the double. The Earthling proceeds to prearranged gathering places. At first, our scientists were puzzled by this stately procession. The simple reason, they enjoy each other's company and have an almost compulsive desire to play elaborate games together. Occasionally, they stop to chat. But any lag in games and dancing brings a sharp response from briskly efficient social directors who never leave their posts. Furious fun and exhaustion. There's a steady run on spas and medical centers. Nor is the mind neglected. Education is everywhere. spends a lot of time browsing in curiously designed libraries. Often connected to such libraries are audio-visual centers. From every angle and by every means, the Earthling is being conditioned. What is he learning? What is his ultimate purpose? It is here, in this retirement park, that the meaning of his joyous celebrations and feverish education becomes clear. The mature individual is now ready to make his essential contribution to his civilization. He instructs a worker to prepare him for his last act. He is now in proper shape to reproduce. Earthlings have done away with the stresses and untidiness of sex. The reproductive process takes place in 3 or 4 huge breeding centers. Although this process is shrouded in secrecy, our scientists believe that it must go something like this. A newborn Earthling, full grown, ready for a place in society. It seems odd that such a highly developed civilization has not yet found a way to combat parasites. These pesky little creatures build huge hives or nests, which often block or slow down the orderly progress of the Earthling. However, the Earthling seems to have this matter in hand. The eradication of these pests is obviously a top priority job for the working class. And so we look forward to our first soft landing and direct contact with the fascinating Earthling. Well done, scientists of Mars.
The cannons fire this weekend as the 49ers tackle Terry and the Steelers. The Cowboys shoot it out with Jaws in Philly, and Sipe duels with Ferguson in Buffalo. Hi, I'm Len Dawson.
And I'm Nick Buoniconti. Join us for analysis and highlights of all this week's gridiron action,
including Monday's Broncos-Vikings clash.
And a salute to great Chicago running backs like Bronco Nagurski and Gale Sayers.
And a reflective look at the glory years of the Giants on Inside the NFL. Tomorrow on HBO.
Friday, the investigation into a double murder is led by two of Scotland Yard's funniest.
Got that message. Better send it off to the yard and let them know we're here.
Tim Conway and Don Knotts are the private eyes. Saturday.
Dr. Livingston,
He was solid, old-fashioned.
I presume.
The calla lilies are in bloom again.
She was energetic and liberated. Theirs was an attraction of opposites, a relationship illuminating the screen with a special brilliance that would extend to their private lives. Follow the legacy of Hepburn and Tracy. Sunday, a disaster at sea forces two young children to fend for themselves on a tropical island. Together, they encounter the mysteries of their own lives. Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins star in a story of natural love. The Blue Lagoon, this weekend on HBO. This is HBO.
The following program is a special presentation from Home Box Office.
The American Beauty Pageant, one of the many attractions that brought America out of inhibition and into exhibition. Remember When goes back into time and takes a look at the birds and the bees. Here's an enlightening episode of the sexual traditions, mores, standards, and revolution that has been going on since the beginning of time. Dick Cavett is your host. He plans to tell all in this special remembrance of sex in America, another facet of American culture, the birds and the bees. Tomorrow. Great movies are yours in November with Oscar-winning drama, Love on a Desert Isle, Murder on a Movie Set, Marriage American Style, and comedy of the colossal kind. The film that won 4 Academy Awards.
You better make sure that your kids are good and safe. And then you come to me and tell me how to be happy.
Do you love me? Do you really love me?
Just do one wrong thing.
And what was the one wrong thing you did?
Donald Sutherland, Mary Tyler Moore, Judd Hirsch, Timothy Hutton. Ordinary people, then an extraordinary place. An island where 2 shipwrecked children survive, grow, and discover the mysteries of life. Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins, The Blue Lagoon.
You know, there are really only 2 things I dislike about you.
Really? What are they?
Your face.
Dislike is one thing, but murder?
Murder is a very dangerous business.
Angela Lansbury is Miss Marple, and Elizabeth Taylor and Kim Novak top her list of all-star suspects in Agatha Christie's The Mirror Cracked. And the sleuthing continues with a 2-man send-up of Scotland Yard.
These people are dropping like flies. Don't you people realize that you're next unless we get to the bottom of
Tim
this?
Conway and Don Knotts are the private eyes. And Dom DeLuise trades in one love for another.
Lydia.
Lydia. My name is Dom.
Fatso. Then, they're a simple couple whose marriage is complicated by a co-ed, a carpenter, their daughter, her sweetheart, and the co-ed's father. Confused?
Yes, yeah.
What did you say? Hold it.
Shirley MacLaine, Anthony Hopkins, and Bo Derek in A Change of Seasons. And more marital bliss with George Segal and Natalie Wood as a pair who don't want a divorce.
I know this is not the in thing to say, but I love my wife.
Even if it means they'll be the last married couple in America.
There will be no bombs dropped here.
Could it be an enemy invasion? On the ground, sea, and in the air, they don't know who they're fighting.
Excuse us, ma'am.
But they're gonna fight.
What are you doing?
John Belushi leads the way in Steven Spielberg's 1941. And there are more great movies in December. Marlon Brando and George C. Scott in The Formula. Walter Matthau, Julie Andrews, and Sarah Stimson as Little Miss Barker.